Hi, I'm Melissa, and we are at the grooming room here in our new facility, something we did not have in our old building. And this room has come in handy for more than just your typical bathing, grooming, nail trims. We had a ball python that we had to house, and this room came in handy for that because it was the most appropriate space, quieter, away from the other animals, and totally secluded for the snake. So let's head in, and we are going to see Catherine and our feline friend, Jeffrey. So we are going to see an example of a cat nail trim with Jeffrey. You'll see here in front of Jeffrey, we have 3 different nail clippers, and this small one is what you might use for cats or rabbits, guinea pigs, anything small. These middle ones you might use for bigger dogs that have big nails, or you can use them for any size. This is kind of a preference thing. Otherwise, you can use these for dogs as well. So in general, when you're trimming your cat's nails, it's important that it's a positive experience. If you get the nail trimmers out and your animal runs away, this tells us that they already have a negative association, maybe from previous nail trims not going as smooth as we all wish that they would. And so if you find that it is difficult to trim their nails, it might be worth backing up a few steps and just getting them comfortable with touching their paws, touching their toes, and after you do a paw touch, they get a treat. Do that repeatedly every day while you're hanging out on the couch, while you're relaxing. As they get more comfortable with that, get the nail trimmers out and just show them the nail trimmers. Have the nail trimmers lying around on the ground so that they can see that the nail trimmers are not always associated with something bad. It's important to start with realistic expectations as well. If you have an animal that you are gradually working your way up to being more comfortable with the nail trims, make sure that you don't go into a nail trim session expecting to trim all the paws all at once. Maybe just do a snip of 1 or 2 nails and make that a really happy, exciting experience. Lots of treats, lots of love, maybe play if they are motivated by that. And then do that again the next day. Take a break and go slow, because that's how we're going to teach the animals that this is a positive and fun experience and nothing to be afraid of. So I'm going to go grab Carmen, but in the meantime, Catherine is going to show you how to trim Jeffrey's nails.
Trimming your pet's nails is so important. For cats particularly, it prevents them growing their nails all the way around into their pads of their feet, and that prevents proper walking and is super painful. So before we begin, I've got my cat, very important, my nail trimmers, and some treats that he is loving to eat. Sometimes I'll hide these or give it to him after each nail has been clipped, depending on how he's feeling. Are you ready, Jeffrey? I just lean over a little bit so I have a better angle, pick up his paw, and then I push just gently on his digit in order to reveal that nail. And as right now he would rather be eating than have me trimming, but I still have some secret treats there, I'll let him have a second for a break. When I feel like he is sufficiently food distracted, I can go in, take my trimmers, and just clip before the red part, which is the quick, and that's our blood vessel to our nail. White or clear. And I just trim right before the quick, giving myself a little bit of extra space. A great way to handle a cat that might not be having the most fun with his nail trims was to grab a second person. That way we either have someone holding the cat while we trim the nails, or even I can still hold and trim and somebody else can hold that food or a squeaky toy to just distract us from what's going on with our paws. And now Jeffrey gets to enjoy some wet food as a delicious treat for all his hard work. And Melissa is going to get Carmen.
Carmen is here to help me demonstrate how to trim nails on a dog. When you're doing it with your dog, and even for your cat, try to do it at a time in the day where they're a bit calmer, they're not as hyperactive. Every person's going to have a different preference in terms of how they like to stand. If you have a small dog versus a large dog, it's going to differ. Some people like to do it while their dog is laying down, and I personally have a preference of doing it with my dog standing. But since Carmen is laying down right now, I'll just show you what this might look like. Good girl. Yes, good girl, Carmen. every little clip. We're still in the beginning stages with training Carmen for nail trims. So after every nail, I'm going to give her praise and a treat. Good. Ooh, good girl, Carmen. And another good tip is we always want to make sure we're not clipping so short that we clip that quick that Catherine talked about. But just in case, it's good to have on hand some quick stop, or even cornstarch works well if you do nip that quick and need to get it to stop bleeding. I find that when she's standing and you turn it like this, it's easier to see the front of the nail. And when clipping black nails, it's helpful because it gives you kind of an indication on how much shorter you can go. But in general with black nails, I think just sticking to the tips of the nails is really the best thing that you can do. Just be doing trimming. Don't go in with the expectation to cut off half the nail. Good girl, Carmen. After a nail trim session, I like to have a fun game of play, and for dogs who are play motivated, that can be a really good way to make the entire session a positive experience and end on a really good note. Right, Carmen?